Hey guys, welcome back. My name's Katie and this is Dark Side of the Truth. In this video, we need to talk about this whole thing that's going on with Trump and this whole attempted assassination situation that's going on. But we need to go over the real details that they're kind of, throwing out in different videos here and there. So if you're not watching all of these videos on repeat from different sources, you're just not going to catch it, right? And lucky for you, I've been watching all of this stuff and doing tons of research per usual, so you don't have to. Now, I know that I promised in my previous video that my next video would be another one of these fake food videos that we have been talking about, and I'm gonna make a whole series on that. Don't worry, that's still coming. But I figured, given recent events and everything that's going on, I would only be doing all of us a disservice if I didn't talk about this. So I felt the need to make this video beforehand, but don't worry, I'm working on that food video. It's coming, I promise. We need to talk about this, guys. We just have to go over it, the real facts of the situation. We gotta talk about it. And I do have some notes here with me off to the side because I want to make sure that I include everything in this video. So if you see me looking off screen or whatever, that's what I'm looking at. I'm just checking my notes to make sure that I didn't forget to, to bring up anything, because there's a lot of stuff to this and I want to make sure that I mention everything that I've learned so far. And please, if you guys know any information, on top of this or anything like that, please drop it in the comments. I love, to read your guys' comments, and I want to learn as much as I can about this topic. I think we all should, because I think there's definitely something going on. Definitely something. And as to what that something is, I'll talk about that in a second, but let's get into what's going on. Before we jump into today's video, do me a favor and smash the hell out of that like button, because it really helps get this video out to as many people as possible, and we need to spread this information as far and as wide as we possibly can. And if you're not subscribed to our channel, what are you waiting for? Come on over and join our truth-seeking community already. Hello, we're pretty fucking cool over here, okay? Make sure you hit that little bell icon so you stay in the loop whenever I upload new videos just like this. But without any more jibber jabber from me, let's get into this video.
They live, we sleep, the alarms going off, beep beep. Time to wake up to the deceit. Our whole reality's made up by the elite.
As I'm sure most of you, or every one of you pretty much has heard, I don't know who hasn't heard this news, that there was an assassination attempt on Trump's life at a rally in Pennsylvania. Now, what not everybody is talking about is these weird sus details that surround this, okay? Now, to begin with, let's go back a couple months ago, or maybe even a couple years ago, right? They've been doing this to Trump forever since he was president, right? They started with them trying to impeach him when he was president. Remember that whole thing? They were trying to impeach him, and then right after he left the presidency, they tried to say that he left with classified documents, and that they were trying to put him in jail for all this, right? And even conspiracy theorists and people online, I hate that term, but I'm going to use it so you know what I'm talking about. So conspiracy theorists and people online were saying, well, they tried to assassinate his character. They tried to lock him up and put him in jail for all this bogus BS crimes, right? And they're what's next? You know what I mean? Because the charges didn't stick, and he's still running for presidency, and he's basically you can't keep me down. Nothing you're going to do to me is going to stop me. So people online were what's next? Well, they were speculating that maybe they're going to try to take his life, right? And that's exactly what happened. I mean, I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying. Okay. And if you guys remember those Capitol riots that they said happened a while back, when they said that a bunch of people stormed the Capitol, and if Trump was the one that was telling them to do it, and he was leading them, and they were just going there on his order, and all this BS bogus crap that the news was spraying, right? When, if you actually have looked into it and done your own research, you know that that couldn't be further from the truth, because there's video of police officers and security and stuff walking these civilians through the Capitol building and showing, letting them check it out. They didn't just barge in there guns ablazing like the news tries to say.
This is for educational purposes only, as an example of entrapment.
it's just crazy to me. And yet there's people in jail from this Capitol like riot that they say happened. There's people in jail right now from that. Like, it's insane. It is literally insane. And yet they tried to say that Trump was behind all of that. Like, they've just been trying to assassinate his character for so long. They've been coming after him for so long. It is just crazy to me. Crazy. I just can't even, like, it's nuts. Like, the last president that they tried to assassinate, or actually it wasn't, like, that they did assassinate, was Kennedy, and then Lincoln. It's like every president that, like, actually tries to do what's right and, like, stand up for we the people and, like, tries to do the best that they can, they just try and take them out because it doesn't meet their agenda and what they want pushed and what they want done. You know what I'm saying? You guys know what I'm saying. It's so sick to me. And, like, out of all of these rumors and, like, BS stuff that they spread about him, it's majority of it's like not true, right? Majority of it's fake and, like, made up, obviously. I think we all know that. But, like, there will be people who, like, strongly dispose Trump and, like, do not like him, don't like anything he stands for, think that he should not be president, right? And then they meet him in person and, like, actually get to know him. And I would say close to 100% of those people are like, he's actually a great guy. Like, he actually is, like, down to earth and, like, cool, and, like, he's actually a really nice dude. And, like, I would like for him to be president and stuff. Like, they totally have a change of heart once they get to know him. It's just like this news media propaganda, like, fantasized, like, I don't know, like, horrendous version of him that the news pushes onto everybody that they just, like, eat it up and they think it's true. And it's just so sick. Ugh. I mean, think about it, though. Like, if they had somebody that was actually doing what's right for us, would they want us to know that? No, of course they wouldn't. They would want to villainize him and, like, make him seem like he's not doing the right thing and just try to take him out. You know what I mean? And I've heard a lot of people on, this is going to make, okay, I need to go off on a second here because I've heard a lot of people online saying, like, I can't believe he missed, or they should try again and, like, get accurate aim this time. Like, that is disgusting. Okay, first of all, like, think about what you are saying before you say it. Like, I know you're just, like, typing it, you're not actually saying it to somebody's face, so, like, sometimes that makes people think that they're, like, a little bit braver and, like, can say whatever they want. You know what I'm talking about, these keyboard warriors and stuff. But, like, that is a human being. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter who, if you agree with his agenda or if you agree with what he's doing or if you even want him to be president. That has nothing to do with it. The fact of the matter is, a previous president of the United States was almost assassinated on live TV. Like, let that sink in. And people are saying, like, oh, he deserved it. Yeah, well, he doesn't deserve to live. He shouldn't be our president and stuff. Like, I'm sorry, what did you just say? So you're going to say that his family deserves to see him be unalived on national TV because you don't agree with his, like, agenda? I can't. I just, like, oh, I can't. Every time I hear that, it literally makes me so sick. So sick. But that's, like, another thing that they wanted, right? Like, they wanted it, like, with this shooting, it, like, made people think, like, oh, look, we're all so divided. Look, oh, somebody is so mad at the other party and the other person's agenda, and they're just, like, so divided and so, like, red and blue, you know what I'm saying, on these political lines, that they would really be willing to somebody on the other side. Sorry, that they would really be able to unalive somebody on the other side just, like, because they don't agree with their, like, point of view or their political view or whatever. Like, that's what they want us to think. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just so sick. We'll get into a second what I think is going on, but we're not there yet. Let's just keep on talking about these facts for a second. Just hold with me. Stick with me. How many of you noticed that when they, like, were announcing what was happening with Trump, first of all, any, like, news channels that were on in, like, you know, bars or, like, stadiums or, like, any place where, like, people were, if they were watching the news, they were asked to turn this off and not to show it while it was covered. And then when they did finally talk about it, right, and they did finally, like, cover the story, which was, like, a long time after, like, I wouldn't say, like, crazy long after, but, like, a couple, like, hours, like, a half hour, like, it wasn't, like, immediate, like it should have been, you know what I'm saying? When they did finally get around to covering the story and, like, publishing news articles online and stuff like that, it was, oh, Trump was rushed off stage after popping noises were heard at a rally in Pennsylvania, making it seem like he was scared from, like, fireworks or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like a, oh, assassination attempt on previous President Trump or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it should have been that. It should have been, like, assassination attempt, this is what happened, shots were fired at Israeli, whatever. Not Trump was rushed off stage after popping noises were heard. like it sounds like there was fireworks. You know what I'm saying? Like they tried to just like diminish it and like just make it seem like a smaller deal in like any way that they could. It just, I don't know, makes me so sick when I think about it. Like I can't help but wonder, like, if it was Biden or if it was like Bush or anybody else that like helped push their agenda, would they have reacted the same way? You know what I'm saying? Like would they have like diminished it and dulled it down and not covered it right away? I don't know. Would they have done anything else that we're about to get into? Let's just keep going, because there's a lot more things that happened that I don't think would have happened had it have been Biden or Obama or Bush or anybody else. Let's keep going. And before we move on, though, I want to touch on the fact that they were telling like bars and stadiums and stuff to turn the news channel off. How weird is that? Have you ever heard of them doing that? Like something live is happening and they're like, oh, let's not show the coverage. Like let's like keep it as hush-hush as possible. Like what? No. That's not normal to me. I'm sorry. But we can move on, because there's a lot that I want to get to. Yeah, see, this is something that I would have forgot to mention that I already moved past, so that's why I need to consult my notes here. That's why I wrote them. Thanks, notes. But, like, back when he was president, they tried to, like, kick him off Twitter and, like, silence him and not let him be even on social media. Like, when have you heard of that? Like, a president not being allowed to, like, post on social media or, like, have their opinion known, or, like, it's just weird to me. You know what I mean? Like, they've been coming after him for a hot minute. And he was the first president that I personally know of that didn't take a paycheck. You ever heard of him not taking a paycheck? I mean, he had to take it. Like, I've heard him say before, like, he had to take it, but then he would, like, write it all off to, like, a charity or something. Like, he couldn't just, like, no, I'm not taking it. There was, like, some type of legal whatever that he had to officially take it, but then he would give it all away. Like, he never actually cashed a check and put it in his pocket or his bank account, which presidents don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a fucking millionaire. Like, he's a millionaire, dude, and he, like, chooses to do this because he, like, I think, my personal opinion, genuinely wants to help. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but the fact that they tried to like take him out makes me think that I'm not. Let me know what you think. Let's talk about this really quick. The Secret Service. I have so much that I want to cover about the Secret Service, so let's just get into it already. Did you know that the Secret Service said that they were aware? Well, obviously they were aware, because there's been videos of people saying that they like pointed out the shooter before he even got a shot off. They were like, hello, there's somebody up on that building with a rifle. Like, we told the cops and they just didn't do anything, basically. Here, let me show you what I'm talking about.
Someone who was here, you weren't inside the event, nope, but you were just outside. Tell us what you saw and what.
So we had a party here all day. You can see behind us at the Brinkles Farming Greenhouse here. We had a party, and we all decided, hey, you know, when we hear Trump up there, we're going to walk up through the field, stand by the trees out there under the shade, and watch and listen to the rally. Right? We couldn't see him, but we could hear him. So we walked up, and probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here. I have no idea, you know. But we noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, you know, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle. We could clearly see him with a rifle, absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? You know, like they didn't know what was going on. You know, we're like, hey, right here on the roof, we can see him from right here. We see him. You know, he's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2 or 3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots rang out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up there.
You were up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling the police and the Secret Service?
We were telling the police. We were pointing at them for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Could they see
binoculars?
Could they see him?
Probably not, because the roof, the way the slope went, he was behind where they could see. But But why is there not Secret Service on all of these roofs here? I mean, this is not a big place.
Look, there he is. You can hear bystanders desperately trying to alert police. Authorities now using that video as part of the investigation.
See what I mean? Like, and he's not the only one. Like, he's not the only one. Apparently, there was an emergency services operator, okay, according to the New York Post, an emergency service, sorry if I could talk. An emergency services operator, somebody who works for emergency services, they didn't specify on which group or which, department they work for, but an emergency services worker, according to the New York Post, videoed and photographed this guy on the roof at 5:45 p.m. and then notified local law enforcement and told him to notify the, the Secret Service and all that at 5:45. Okay, he has a video in his phone. He has like the text message proof. Like he has receipts. He can prove this. Okay. At 5:45, he notified them. 26 minutes later is when the first shots were fired. You heard me right. 26 minutes later. He notified them at 5:45. The first shots did not go off until 6:11 p.m. Make that shit make sense. And then Secret Service has the audacity to say we knew that that he was up there. We were notified beforehand. Well, of course, because I could prove that there was a 26-minute fucking delay. So of course you had to say that, right? They didn't have a choice. So yeah, they'd come out and say, oh yeah, we knew he was up there. But according to the Secret Service handbook or whatever they're official rules of engagement, right? They're supposed to wait for the person to get a shot off to guarantee that they're actually a threat. Oh, I'm not kidding. Oh, I wish I was, but I'm not. Make it make sense. So you see this guy that's like a couple hundred yards from where Trump is talking. He's bear crawling on a roof, right? With a big ass AR-15 on his back, in army clothes, army pants, whatever. Headed directly towards Trump. He has a perfect line of view. And you're like, no, he might not be a threat. I might be seeing things wrong. Let's just wait until he gets shot off. I thought good security prevented incidents. They don't react to incidents. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I shit you not. Okay, now that's not even the first. Well, that's just the first. Sorry, that's just the first thing that's wrong with the Secret Service. Okay, then let me show you a map view. Let me just pop this up on screen real quick while I'm talking. This map view. Okay, here's where Trump was talking. I'll highlight it, circle it. Right here is where Trump was talking. Then you have this building directly behind him is where he had Secret Service counter snipers posted on that building to counter any type of attack that might occur, right? They're there just to watch, basically, okay? Their direct line of vision is the roof where the shooter was at. He is in the direct line of vision. Look at the map. I shit you not. Okay, a little directly in front of him, a little bit off to the left, but it is the very first roof that is in sight. Why would that not have been a roof that you scanned 100 times over? You know what I'm saying? With that line of sight that sniper had, he should have been checking that roof as much as we check all 3 of our mirrors in our car every time we drive. There is no excuse for that. You know what I mean? On top, okay, then you pair the sniper having him in his direct line of sight with, oh, we have to wait for him to get a shot off. Okay, make it make sense. Sure thing. Then you have the Secret Service lady after, directly after the shooting going off, and they're rushing Trump to the car, and she's like, hey, let me cover him, right? And then she can't even reholster her weapon.
After Secret Service Barbie, a highly trained member of the Secret Service, removes her weapon from its holster for the very first time in her career. She struggles to return her pea shooter as though it's her first day on the job. Fortuitously, her skills from a previous life as an amateur actress come into play, allowing her to convincingly mimic the swift draw of the weapon and scan the horizon for threats. Chewing her gum nonchalantly, she attempts to exude a tactical demeanor, reminiscent of a fusion between the Blues Brothers and Rosie O'Donnell. Despite her efforts, our agent's attempt to return her wireless hole punch to its home results in another failure. While she may have faltered at this most basic of tasks, she certainly looked cool while doing it.
What are we doing? What is happening? Okay? And then, let me tell you this one thing, okay? Normally I'm all for diversity, right? And I think that a woman should be given a job as much as a man. I think that, you know, people of color should be given jobs as much as, you know, like, I just think they should all be the same, right? You should hand out jobs, like, just as diverse as possible, right? I really strongly believe in that. Except when it comes to the Secret Service and the Green Beret, okay? And I say that with all love and due respect in my heart for every single person on this planet, okay? But the Secret Service and the Green Beret have very, very serious jobs of keeping all of us safe, the president safe, and all the rest of us. You understand? They should be hired strictly on skill only, okay? I'll say it again, I don't care. They should be hired strictly on skill only for the Secret Service and the Green Beret. Other than that, do what you will. That's fine. Diverse it up. I'm all here for it. I love it. I love it. I'm all here for it. I'm the first one to tell you to do it. But did you know that the Secret Service has to hire based on diversity? Like, they have to? Maybe that's just my personal opinion, okay? And that's why I love this channel, because we can all share ours. I would love to hear yours in the comments. But I just think that is crazy. I think that's crazy. So you're going to take somebody like a chick with like lesser skill over a man who's like super duper duper skilled because what? You need another chick? How is that helping keep the president safe? Like, we have to. And then how I hear all these news channels talking about, well, he was a prior president and he wasn't like the seated president. So like, you know, like that's different. That makes a difference. How does that make a difference? I would love to know. It doesn't matter if you are this like sitting president of the United States or if you're a previous president of the United States. It does not matter. They have Secret Service from the moment they're elected until the moment that they die. For a reason. Like, for a reason. Because they know, like, information that is, like, confidential and, like, very secure, like, secretive information about our country and about all of us. And how easy would it be for, like, a leader of another country to come over here and steal one of our previous presidents after he was done being a president if we didn't protect them, right? And then they could just, like, torture him and get any type of information out of him that they want. You see what I'm saying? They have to. Like, they have to. They all have Secret Service from the moment they're elected until the moment that they pass away. That's just how it is. So it doesn't matter to me if it was a prior president or if it's the like current president of the United States. That doesn't matter to me. What matters is that a president of the United States was almost assassinated on live TV. Like, let that sink in. That is crazy. It's nuts. It's nuts. And like, 100% the Secret Service were to blame. I'm sorry, but that's just my personal opinion. 100% they were. Because like either they were in on it or it was like a lack of them doing their jobs and they all need to be seriously like investigated and like let go. I don't know. But like that was a mistake of them. Okay. Homeboy carried a ladder from his house. Can you imagine him walking down the street with a ladder and an AR? Just like, la-di-da, going to see Trump. First of all, how does he not get somebody's attention on the way there? Okay. Like, let's be real. With the cameras and, like, everything that it is nowadays, like, come on. How does he not get somebody's attention on the way there? And then he props up this ladder from his house up against the side of the building, climbs up it with his AR, and nobody says anything. Everybody thinks it's fine. It's like, oh, no, we got to make sure he's just not a threat. And how do you not notice the ladder up against the side of the building? Like, shouldn't that area have been scanned, you know, before him getting there, while he's there, the whole time he's talking, before he's about to leave? I don't know. Just a thought. And like, do you understand that what would have happened if they would have succeeded? Like, that was a really good shot homeboy took. Like, Trump was looking forward and then he just so happened to turn and look this way, and that's when it went off and it hit his ear. Thank God, right? Like, thank God, okay? Because had he been looking forward, like, he would have been hit and he would have been unalived on TV. Like, that just is what would have happened. Thank God he turned his head. Like, but could you have imagined if he wouldn't have turned his head? Okay, if he had continued looking forward and the shot had been successful. They like literally tried to not only take away this man's life, but they tried to take away all of our voices, right? And anybody who was going to vote for Trump, like, they were taking away your voice. You know what I'm saying? Or like anybody who was going to vote in general. They were taking away they were trying to take away all of our voices, not just his. It's just insane. I don't know. I just like keep thinking about like, what if it would have been, what if it would have hit? What if it would, like, it's the difference that it would have been. It's just insane. I just can't, oh my God, I can't even fathom it. I'm so thankful that he turned, like, thank God the left can't aim. Thank God. And now all they did was like pretty much guarantee that Trump's gonna win, because like anybody who was like on the fence of like voting between him or Biden, or like him and independent, like didn't know what they were gonna do, or maybe wasn't gonna vote at all, now more than likely they're gonna go out and vote, and Trump's gonna get that vote, because like, and riddle me this, answer me this: who would you rather have as a president? Somebody who literally almost gets assassinated on live TV and drops for not even 2 to 3 minutes, and then stands back up and is like, let's fight on, as the crowd's chanting USA, USA, right? Like, what an American like patriot moment, you know what I'm saying? Okay, move on. That's one hand. You have a guy who like literally almost takes a bullet for this country and is like, nope, they're not even gonna keep me down, I'm gonna get back up and continue to fight for you guys. Okay, that's option A. Or option B, dementia Grandpa Joe, who can't even form a sentence. Tell me which one you'd rather have, okay? That's what I mean. So it's either he's going to get their sympathy vote, or he's going to get their common sense vote, and like not even based on like politics or anything, but just based off of like who is a better fit. Again, this is all just my opinion, okay? So like don't like come for me in the comments. This is all just my opinion. I would love to hear yours, but I think personally that Trump's guaranteed to win. And that's another thing that I heard online, was people were saying that it was based on the Secret Service's reaction and based on all of these things that they failed to do, that they should have done and that they would have done on any other occasion, that basically they were in on it and it was an inside job. And now, was it an inside job from Trump, or was it an inside job from the left, from the Democrats? Well, let's go over the facts of that together, okay? Trump was shot in the ear, okay? That is so fucking close to your head. Like, can you imagine if something shot you in your ear? I would feel so violated. Like, there's no way. Like, you're so, kiss the ground. You're so grateful to be alive at that point. You know what I'm saying? If it had been like a shot to the shoulder, or a shot like in the leg, or to the hand, or to the arm, or like anywhere other than his fucking ear, with him constantly turning his head back and forth, I would be like, yeah, Trump might have staged it for like a political sympathy vote, and like to guarantee that he wins, and like because they rigged the election. I'm gonna say that with air quotes, supposedly they rigged the election, because I don't want to get in any band or trouble here, but because they supposedly and allegedly rigged the election last election year for Biden to win. Basically, they were like, well, if Trump staged this, that he would guarantee to get the sympathy vote, and that they wouldn't be able to rig it this year because it would be way too obvious, because like everybody's already paying attention for them to rig it again, and like this incident would guarantee Trump to win. You know what I'm saying? So people were like, well, it could have been Trump that staged it. And I would be likely to agree with you, except for the fact that he was shot in his ear. That's too close. Like, they could have easily missed a little bit of wind, and they missed a little bit of an off slam, or like an off target, a little bit of a slip when you pull the trigger, like anything, and that could have been really bad. You know what I'm saying? That was too close of a target for it to be a psyop and like a planned event for him just to get votes. I don't think so. I really don't. But again, that's just my opinion. Okay. So now, what's the other option for the Secret Service being involved, and the only other way to explain their sketchy behavior, in my opinion? Again, this is all my opinion. Well, the left being involved, right? Because they want to get rid of Joe. Or, I'm sorry, because they want to get rid of Trump, not Joe. Because they want to get rid of Trump. Right? But it was a really risky move by them doing it, because it was like, either you get rid of him, right? And you succeed, and now you're like the only option for president, basically, and like he's going to win again. Or you miss, and he gets a sympathy vote. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Just my opinion. And the reason why that I think the left was involved, and like super duper duper strongly believe that the left was involved, is not only because of the Secret Service's reaction, but y'all know that the shooter was in a BlackRock commercial, right? You've seen that, you've heard that going around online. If not, allow me to show it for you. First of all, the shooter's name is Matthew Thomas Crooks. Another 3 first name there. Just like, John Wilkes Booth and Lee Harvey Oswald. Of course, they like their 3 first names with the shooters. You know that. But anyways, here's a picture of him, so you know what he looks like. And here is a BlackRock commercial that he was in. Check it out.
My name is Brian DeLallo. I teach AP and Honors Economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Financial well-being to me is knowing that I can be free to do the things that I love to do. I hope when I retire someday, they say, that guy made this place a special place to come to school and gave as much as he could to help the community.
I'm telling you, I couldn't make this shit up if I tried, okay? Now, apparently he was registered as a Republican, right? But hated Trump, so make that make sense. And on top of him being registered as a Republican, he had donated like a decent amount of money, not like a large amount of money, but he's donated some money to Democratic organizations and like far left organizations. So just like a little bit of room for everybody to hate him, I guess. I don't know. But that's a little summary on, you know, Matthew Thomas Crooks.
My name is Thomas Matthew Crooks. I hate Republicans. I hate Trump. And guess what? You got the wrong guy.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. Let me know how you guys feel about that. But I personally think that he might have been, like, convinced, hired. I don't know. I don't know. But I would love to hear your opinions. Now, let's get back to the Secret Service and all the sketchy ass shit that they did, okay? Did you guys hear that, apparently, allegedly, according to the New York Post, that an officer was alerted by civilians, by that guy I showed you that recorded the video saying like, oh, we alerted, you know, officers that he was on the building. Officers were alerted that this shooter was on top of the building. And according to the New York Post, the officer then climbed the ladder that the guy used, like to post it up against the side of the building, and like that he used to climb up there. Okay, that's one theory I've heard. Then from another like news channel reporting whatever, I've heard that he climbed on top of another cop's shoulders and was then able to see up on the roof. I don't know exactly which is true, but I'm gonna go with the first story that I heard, which was that he, from the New York Post, said that the officer was alerted that he saw the guy up on the roof, or that there was a guy up on the roof, so then he kind of saw him, so then he climbed up the roof to go up there to talk to him, and that's when the shooter turned and pointed the gun at the police officer. So, you know, instead of getting on the walkie and being like, to the sniper that has him in his view, you know, the sniper that's right behind Trump talking that I already showed you in the map, you know, calling out to him and being like, hey, shooter's right here, he's got his gun pointed on me, you know, while he's turned his back to the sniper and to Trump and he's focused on you. They could have taken him out because that right there proves he's a threat. He's pointing at a cop. You don't have to wait for him to get a shot off because he's already pointed a gun at a police officer. So that right there shows the threat. Anyways, moving on. So instead of doing that, which is what he should have done, but anyways, he then proceeds, the cop, according to the New York Post, proceeds to turn around and go back down the ladder. And then, after this confrontation and you know, the stuff between the police officer and the shooter happened, after the cop climbs back down the ladder and gets off the roof, then the guy turns and shoots on Trump. You heard me right. So he was confronted by a police officer, and they knew that he was a threat, and he pointed his gun at a police officer, directly at the police officer, before shooting at Trump, and they still did nothing. They knew what roof he was on. They had snipers pointed directly at that location, and they did nothing. Okay, sure. On top of the 26 minutes of waiting time that they did, because they wanted to wait for him to get a shot off, and cool. You want to hear something worse? I'm telling you, I couldn't make this shit up if I tried. Let's just listen to this. The roof that the shooter was on, okay? Stick with me, listen to this. He was on the roof, right? The building of the roof he was on was used as a watch post for local police that day during the rally while Trump was there. They were using that factory as a watch post. I shit you not. So there was cops inside of the building while this motherfucker walked over there and stuck his ladder up against the side of the building and climbed up it and bear crawled across the roof. How did nobody see him do that? If it's used as a watch post for police officers, I promise you I couldn't walk up to my local police station and put a fucking ladder up against the side of the building and climb onto their roof. They would know. They would know I was there before I even like put the ladder up against the side of the building. They would know. And they'd be out there to ask me what I'm doing. So, with that building and that factory being used as a watch post, according to the New York Times magazine, or New York Post, one of the two, I forget. According to them, this was used as a watch post, okay, for local police that day. So that means there was a lot of cops in and out of that building all day, and stationed in that building, and, right? Okay. So how did they not hear the ladder go up against the side of the building? How did they not see him coming? How did they not hear him on the roof? Come on, guys. Come on. You gotta see it. You know when you get like that gut feeling that something is off? Because I got that gut feeling as soon as I watched this footage the first time. I didn't even need to know any of these details. It was before like the shooter's name even came out, before we knew anything. Right as soon as this shit broke on TV, watching it for the first time, I was like, I don't know, something's wrong. Something's off. Nobody in the crowd's running. Nobody's like screaming or reacting. There's a few people that are ducking. Nobody's running. And right before the crowd, Donald Trump ducks and all the chaos and the Secret Service jump on him and stuff, the people behind him in the crowd, they all start looking off to the right, like something captured their attention. Now, what was that? Was that the people off in the field freaking out, saying like, oh, there's a guy on the roof with a gun and you know, all the chaos over there? Maybe. But what was it? I don't know. I would love to hear that answered. I don't know. I haven't heard any of the witnesses say like what they were looking at or what the crowd saw over there or any. I don't know. Another thing that I thought was pretty strange was one of the witnesses said that they saw the smoke leave the gun from the shooter and the guy that, you know, tried to shoot Trump. How is that possible if he was 200 yards away and on a roof? Like, forget the 200 yards away, but he's on a roof. Like, I don't know. But I just don't think that you'd be able to see the smoke from the gun. Now, I know that, like, stories get exaggerated and, like, people, like, misremember things, especially during, like, a chaotic event like this. Like, I understand that. But I just thought that was such a weird thing for this woman to say, this eyewitness to say. Because that stuck with me. Because I thought, like, okay, well, if she saw the smoke from the gun, then that means the shooter was close. That was before we knew if he was, like, in the gates or if he was outside of the gates or, like, you know, in the perimeter or not. We didn't know where the shooter was at. This was before any of the information came out. I heard this woman say that, and I'm thinking, well, that means he's close. So maybe that's what everybody behind Trump was looking at off to the right. They saw the shooter, right? But now I'm thinking not, because we know he was on top of the roof. So how'd she see the smoke? I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. If you want to hear something else that's like really fucking just like cherry on top of this whole situation. So Quantico has this shooter's phone, right? And they're trying to unlock it and get into it and see if he had like been working with anybody or if he like told anybody about this or was planning this with anybody or was hired by anybody to do this. You know, the latter. But anyways, so that's what they did. They have his phone and they're trying to unlock it and see what information they can get out of his phone, right? So tell me why Quantico and the FBI are the lead investigating teams on this, right? The FBI is really the lead. But Quantico said that they can't unlock his phone. Make that make sense. The FBI, who literally can like hack into anybody's phone at like anytime they want. Like they're probably watching me sit here and record this, let's be real. Like, hey, how you doing? But you know what I'm saying? Like they watch us, they listen to us all the time. Like they're watching us through our fucking TVs. Like I've already done a video about that. But you're gonna tell me you can't get into this guy's phone? Okay, I'm buying that one. So like apparently this like Matthew Thomas Crooks guy had like the best phone locking and hacking skills like around, like better than an FBI apparently, and he was so skilled and talented at his hacking skills and phone locking skills that he can keep even the FBI out of his phone. I guess we should all take some notes because like I would love to know how to keep that out of my phone. Come on, how dumb do they think we are? Apparently very, very dumb, apparently. It's just ridiculous at this point. Like, you can't unlock his phone. Really? We're supposed to buy that? My God. And, like, why were there no private comms? You know what I mean? To, like, get Trump off the roof when the shooting started. Or, like, to prevent the shooting from ever happening. As soon as the shooter was found on the roof. Get him off stage, you know? Like, they should have had private comms, private communication. I understand that there was both Secret Service and local law enforcement there that day. But they need to be talking to each other. Like, you need to have a radio like channel that they're both on, same frequency, where they can talk to each other and communicate this to each other. Because there was 26 minutes where this could have been prevented. And we can prove it. Crazy. And let's go back to like the news channels reporting on this, right? When they did finally admit that something had happened and that there was an actual shooting that had happened at the Trump rally and that, you know, Trump might have been shot. They didn't even want to admit that Trump had been shot. I don't know if you guys heard it or if you caught it, but the original thing that they said was that the teleprompter had been hit with the bullet and that a shard of glass hit Trump. I shit you not, that's what they originally said. Like, I can insert a clip right here of them saying it. Like, they literally are trying to downplay and diminish this in any fucking way that they possibly can, and I cannot help but think that if this was Biden, if this was Obama, if this was Bush, if this was George Bush Sr., if this was any other president that has, like, ever been, would they have acted like this? And the answer is no. It's a strong fucking no for me. But I would love to know what it is for you. There's just too many things here. Like, the Secret Service was involved. The far left was involved. This is all my opinion. Don't take it as fact. There was time to prevent this. This should have never even happened because like drones and helicopters circling the area, they should have saw that ladder, they should have saw that kid. There was just such a better way that this could have been handled. And like, thank God that it wasn't his time. Thank God that he turned his head. And thank God the left can't fucking aim. Like, there's no simpler way to put it than that. Thank God. Like, this is either a major failure by the Secret Service and on the Secret Service's part, or they were in on it. Like, there's no other if, ands, or buts. There's no other way around this. Those are the only two explanations that make any sense, because their response was beyond pathetic. Like, beyond. Like, I can't even. I really honestly can't even. And I would love to see what's going to happen from this and who, if anybody, is going to get in trouble from this, because you already know that they're probably going to be like, oh, nobody's going to jail. No, it was just an incident. No, we handled the shooter. That's all that needs to happen, right? It's like so sick, guys. It's so sick. So while I'm editing this video, there has been an update to this current investigation that's going on. So I wanted to jump back in here really quick and add that to this video. Last night, while I was editing this video together, I saw on the TV that they are now trying to blame Iran for this whole situation, which doesn't make any sense to me at all, because we're talking about some random dude. Why would Iran be behind this? It literally makes zero sense to me. But you know what does make sense to me? The fact that they're trying so hard to blame Iran and make them look like they're guilty for this makes me believe even more that the left was behind it. I'm just saying. That's just my opinion. But I would love to hear yours. That is all of the information that I have found so far about this topic. I definitely will continue to do my research and continue to look into this for everyone's sake. If you have heard anything else, or if you know any additional information that they have released, today, since I did all of this research last night, I haven't watched anything so far yet today because I've been, running around and doing some things. So if you have any more information that has come to light today and you can add to it or let me know, please feel free to drop a comment on this video. I would love to hear anything that you guys know, or anything that you think, or any opinions that you have. Like, that's how we're gonna get down to the bottom of this, is by all of us sticking together and like trying to piece this puzzle piece together, because they're not going to give us the pieces, let alone put it together. Like, they're just not. They don't care. So it's up to us. Like, it really is up to us. And I know we can do it because we've done it every other time. So let's just do it, right? I'm bringing you all the pieces I got. Give me any you got. Let's put it together. But thanks everybody for your time. I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. That food video is coming, I promise. I'm working on it. I already got all of like everything, pretty much put together for it to be made. I just gotta like sit my butt down and record it, okay? But all the research is done, everything's all together, like that's coming very soon. I just wanted to get this one out there first, because I felt like I was just doing everybody like a disservice by not talking about this and not discussing this, because there's something going on. Like, there just is. Whenever you get that gut feeling, listen to it. It's right. But I'm not going to ramble on forever. I'm going to end this here. Again, please let me know if you guys know any additional information. I would love, love, love to hear it. But thank you guys, everybody, for your time. I am so glad and grateful that he is okay, and my thoughts and prayers are with the family of the person who unfortunately lost their life and the other person who was injured. It was a very unfortunate tragedy, and I'm just really sorry to see anybody get hurt, and it's awful. It really is truly awful, and all of our thoughts and prayers should be with that person. My thoughts and prayers are also with Trump, because I've seen him at his first appearance, like, since this happened. I mean, not in person, obviously, I saw the videos of it, but he just looks very sad, like shaken and rattled, and just like shaken up over the whole event, which, I mean, obviously, how could he not be? You know what I mean? I expected no different. I mean, he's human. You know what I'm saying? Like, he literally almost lost his life. I would feel so violated if a bullet literally grazed my ear. Like, there's no closer it could get to your head other than like maybe taking some hair off. Like, that's horrifying. Oh my God, I couldn't even imagine, like, to be in his shoes. And my prayers and thoughts are definitely with all of his kids and his wife, and it's just awful. I can't even believe that they're going through this, and I can't even imagine how they must be feeling or what they must be thinking right now. Same thing with, the victims of this awful tragedy as well. My thoughts and prayers are with you, and I can't imagine, what you're going through. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and end this video here. If you guys haven't already liked the video, do me a favor and like the video, because it really helps this video get out to as many people as possible, and we need to spread this information as far and as wide as we possibly can. And if you're not subscribed to our channel, come on over and join our truth-seeking community. What are you waiting for? But make sure you hit that little bell icon so you get notified whenever I upload videos, because they're probably not gonna be on your home screen, like real shit, let's be honest. They don't want us talking about this stuff, we all know it. But anyways, yep, I'm gonna get on out of here. Thanks you guys so much for your time, I really appreciate it. I love you all. Everybody stay safe out there. And until next time, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!